Hook ever wonder when you should choose EC2 over Lambda? It's a common dilemma in cloud computing. Stick around, and I'll break down the key differences, guide you through practical scenarios, and help you make the right choice for your projects. Lambda is serverless, scalable, and cost-effective for short tasks. EC2 offers more control and flexibility, better suited for long-running processes. The risk? Picking the wrong one can lead to wasted resources, poor performance, or even application failures. The simple explanation lets simplify things. AWS Lambda runs code in response to events. Charges per request and duration. Best for short, stateless tasks. Limited runtime. Amazon EC2 provides virtual servers. Charges by the hour or second based on the instance type. Suitable for long-running applications. Full control over the environment. In short, if your application needs consistent uptime and control, go with EC2. If you want to run quick functions without managing servers, Lambda is your friend. Real-world example. Let's dive into a scenario. Imagine a startup called Quick Reports. They offer a service to generate PDF reports from user data. Initially, they use Lambda to create these reports. Each report took about 10 seconds to generate, and they received around 500 requests per hour. Here's how the costs broke down. Lambda charges 20 cents per million requests and $0.0000167 per gigabyte second. They were generating about 300 reports daily, costing them around 30 cents for requests and $1 for compute time. However, as their business grew, they started receiving 5,000 requests per hour, pushing Lambda to its limits. With timeouts and throttling, users faced delays. The team decided to switch to EC2 for better performance. They set up a T3. Large instance, which costs about $0.0832 per hour. With this, they could handle thousands of requests without timeouts. The monthly cost was around $60, but their user satisfaction soared, leading to increased subscriptions and revenue. What to do instead now? Let's break down how to choose EC2 over Lambda effectively. 1. Assess your application needs. Is your task long running? Consider EC2. Do you need consistent state? Again, EC2 is better. 2. Evaluate usage patterns. If you expect heavy and consistent traffic, EC2 is more predictable and may save you costs in the long run. If your application is event-driven with sporadic traffic, Lambda might still be viable. 3. Set performance metrics. Determine response time, request rates, and acceptable downtime for your application. For example, if your users expect a response within 2 seconds, that's a threshold for choosing EC2. 4. Estimate costs. Calculate projected monthly costs for both services. Use the AWS pricing calculator to run scenarios based on expected usage. 5. Test and monitor. Initially deploy on EC2 for a week, monitor performance and cost. Use CloudWatch to analyze metrics like CPU usage and request handling. 6. Iterate based on feedback. Gather user feedback regularly. Adjust your infrastructure as needed, whether it's scaling up or down. Common mistakes. Here are 5 common mistakes engineers make when choosing between EC2 and Lambda, and how to avoid them. 1. Ignoring traffic patterns, not considering how traffic fluctuates. Analyze historical data to predict load and choose accordingly. 2. Underestimating costs, assuming Lambda is always cheaper. Use AWS pricing calculators to compare costs based on expected workloads. 3. Overlooking timeouts, relying on Lambda for long-running tasks. Use EC2 for tasks that exceed 15 minutes. 4. Neglecting scaling options, forgetting that EC2 can also scale. Use auto-scaling groups with EC2 for dynamic traffic needs. 5. Not testing performance, launching without performance testing. Conduct load testing before going live to find the right balance. Quick checklist. Define your application requirements. Analyze traffic patterns and predict loads. Calculate costs for both Lambda and EC2. Test your application under real-world conditions. Monitor and adjust based on performance metrics. Summary plus CTA and summary. Choosing EC2 over Lambda can greatly benefit your application when you need control, longer runtimes, and consistent performance. Remember to analyze your needs, test thoroughly, and continuously monitor. If you found this information valuable, drop a comment below sharing your experiences or questions. And don't forget to subscribe for more tech insights. Bonus practical tip: if you're unsure what to pick, start with the simplest option that ships today. Then measure for 7 days, latency, errors, deploy time, and cost. Only upgrade when metrics force the decision, not fear.